Okay, this is the regular meeting of the Larkspur Parks and Recreation Commission for Thursday, October 16th, 2025. We are getting started a tad bit late at 6:32. First order of business is roll call.
Come on, Nick, your name.
Commissioner Sunshine,
Here.
Commissioner Capel,
Here.
Commissioner Friedel,
Here.
and Chair Harrison.
Here.
Let the record show that Commissioner Baxter is absent tonight.
All right, thank you. We will now move to public comment. This is the time that we allot, 15 minutes, for the public to address anything that they would like with the commission, as long as it's not on the agenda. I'm not seeing anyone here. Is there anyone online?
Nobody online.
Well, in that case, we will close the public comment period and move on with the approval of the consent calendar. And the first item is the approval of minutes of September 18th, 2025.
I can make a motion to approve the minutes, as provided in the written materials that were provided to us.
Excellent. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
I'm confusing.
All right, we have
Aye.
aye. We have 3 ayes and 1 recusal.
Heard.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, motion passes.
All right, let's move to item number 4, which are the business items. And the first business item is 4.1, the park special events policy and discussion. Nick, you're up.
Excellent. Thank you, Chair Harrison. I bring to you version 2 of the draft special events policy for the parks. Made a few changes based on what I heard from everybody last month. There's a few key changes, and I'll go over those right now. My presentation is going to be very, very much just a conversation right now. So I'll dive into it. One of the key changes I made is the difference between the parks was something of note. So a large event in Piper Park would be a huge event in one of the other parks. So I threw some limits on these. So I upped the 100 to 250 for a special event. And then I said 50 or more for a small park, which is still kind of a number that I'm juggling there, but seems like most kid birthday parties that are happening, you know, kind of last minute in the parks are under 50, but that number could look at adjusting too. I did add a line about city events being exempt from this policy. And I also added, I specified Piper and Niven Park as parks considered for special events. And then instead of naming the smaller parks individually, we said that we would handle them on a case-by-case basis. I also added a line about organizers being a local service organization to qualify. That way we can ensure that they're there for the best interest of the community. Another line that I added, based on what I heard from you guys, is that the applicant may be asked to present to the Park and Rec Commission. Based on our conversations from last month, I think I have a pretty strong idea of what kind of events should be presenting to you. So I think I'm comfortable making that call. I also think it would be beneficial for some of our users and events, particularly the schools and fundraisers that happen out there, fun runs and stuff like that. I think it would be beneficial for them to come to the commission, maybe after the event or before the event, just to kind of talk about how it went, what they did, what they experienced, and just to kind of kind of give you guys a heads up of what's happening in the park and to let you know when those things are happening and how much it benefits these communities. Put in some information about food vendors. I don't want to get in the business of checking individual permits and making sure that we're enforcing food handling techniques, but the county's already in that business. So as long as they have the food, it's called a temporary food facility permit, then I think that covers us. But I don't want to be out there checking to make sure hands are being washed and gloves are worn and hair is tied. And then notifying the neighborhood in advance of an event, I think, is very fair. I think generally at Piper Park, it's kind of, people are used to events out there. If there was something out of the ordinary, I think it's important to let people around the water know. And then anything that's happening in parks that haven't had events, particularly Niven, outside of the grand reopening of Alex's playground, it would be very important to let neighbors know that that's happening, so people aren't blindsided, and that they have, main thing we do that too is so that people know who to contact if they have questions and concerns. And then I fiddled with days that cancellation and refunds can happen within. And are there any questions or comments right now? And so the other thing that I was going to mention is talking with the assistant city manager. This is something that we can also implement on a trial basis if we wanted, and if we wanted to do a year trial basis to see how this goes, and then revisit this in October of 2026. That's also something that is an option.
Any questions, discussion?
There.
Yes.
Okay, so. How are you, I think you're gonna have to need to define service organizations, that generally has a specific delineation to it. So is it, service organizations are Rotary, Lions, Seroptimus? So is that what you're saying, or are you saying? What do you mean by service organizations? Is it
My thought is that it's
chamber? Is
left
it-
ambiguous on purpose.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know how that will.
so you might wanna, I mean, you might wanna change the wording then, I would think,
Mhm.
because service organization means something specific, it generally means those groups. Like it has a connotation of a 501(c)(3).
Okay,
So I would just think about, there might be another word there, that might be a Sky question,
okay,
not
yeah.
Sky, but Sky
Yeah.
fan, Sky the lawyer, the city attorney. Just because for me, service organization means something. It's not ambiguous for me, that
Okay.
definition.
Okay,
May I make a comment
course,
about that?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I had similar concerns about that sentence. And I was thinking maybe just to simplify things, it could read something like, organizers must have a local connection to the community to qualify.
Mhm.
Because we do talk about early on about how there might be weddings or, someone wants to put on like the Battle of the Dad bands. And it's not really a service organization, so, but if
Right,
it's,
because you use
a local
chamber, so,
individual.
yeah, what is it,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay,
so maybe if we just make it a little more generic
Mm-hmm.
and just say they have to have like a local connection to the community.
okay, so I need some fine tuning with the,
I mean, like I said, just that definition means something specific, so I think it's not that I know the word, but then you have to work for a different definition. And
okay,
I agree, it should be somewhat open-ended, so you've got some play, but. Maybe just because I work in that world. And then, I totally get, and for me, I'm fine with you approving as director of recreation. I don't know, 80% of these, like the big ones should obviously, like, the event, the magnitude of dad bands. in my opinion, should have come before this commission. And you know, like I made that point to council. And you, but I also think that if we're going to go down this path, finally, and I don't mean you, I mean the city, that it'd be nice if these were all posted and agendized, that there's, and forgive me if I've missed it, the timeline to submit, how much prior to the event does the application have to be received?
I think
So-
that's in there.
I guess, I said, I don't know if I don't, like, is it 90 days prior? I see the cancellation time, so does it have to be 90 days before the event, 6 months before the event? Because then it should be agendized that you've approved it, and not that we could challenge your approval, but then it's agendized in public, and if someone wants to flip out and come in here and make a comment about it, then they have the ability to do so, because I think in retrospect, had dad bands been posted, people would make comments.
Yeah, so I have 60 days for an event application.
And that might not be enough time, because if, as an event person,
Mhm.
if someone came in and challenged an event. 60 days prior, I already have contracts and I paid deposits and I've done, if it's a big event, it's a birthday party,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Mhm.
So I don't know, maybe you wanna think like 90 days at least, or maybe a little more, because I think, like I said. Total support you making the decision,
Mhm.
but. I would like you to have to agendize that you are reporting you've approved these 5 events or whatever. I mean,
Mhm.
who knows how many we're gonna have, but. I think you should agendize, or they should be posted, or where they're, maybe they need to be posted on the website, or that these events have been posted. Cause that was part of the problem too, I saw. And I keep referring to dad bands, I'm sorry, but like the signs about that didn't go out, and the signs that the path wasn't gonna be closed didn't go out till 11 o'clock, and there wasn't enough noticing of that, so
Mhm.
if someone's going to be closing Niven for an event. I think that it should go and be posted on, and maybe our agenda isn't the place, maybe at least on the city website, and if people aren't paying attention, that's their fault, but. If someone's gonna approve an event of a certain size. I don't wanna approve birthday parties taking over picnic tables, but. That should be posted, so I don't know where that goes, that would be something. Like I said, you have total, authority to do so, but I think that it should come before us that it's, that you've done so, and I don't know when that time frame is.
Okay.
And. And you caught EDC, you caught the security, I think that was all I really had. That's all I had.
Any other thoughts or comments, questions?
Well, I think we should probably talk about how many days is appropriate for submitting, if 90 is the magic number, if you feel that way. If that's our recommendation to you.
Well, that might catch, like, if, like, we're dark for like, is it July or August? Never remember what some of the month are dark.
Last couple summers have been both.
But, okay, so,
Yeah.
so 90 might cover a dark month. When we're dark for summer vacation, when everyone's out of town or something, so maybe it's 90 days. I mean, if you're planning an event that's gonna take over one of the bigger parks, 90 days, you should have the application. in.
My,
Like, it's not a hardship to do that, right?
No,
Even 120 days isn't a hardship if you're planning an event, you wanna know your venue long before you start making plans.
yeah, I think most, that would 90 days would capture most things.
I don't think that's a hardship.
I think it just depends on where we fall with where
Right,
special
I mean,
events
90
are.
days would still might be a little hard, but that's maybe our agenda, isn't it? Maybe it's the website, or maybe it's the Friday newsletter.
Mhm.
If I could add on to that, so my comment was just maybe a little bit more specificity on item 7, the notifying the neighborhood in advance of the event. I know that's not what you're talking about, Jeannie, but it feels
No, it's the same kind of
like
thing,
it is the
absolutely.
neighborhood that
Yeah.
is the most, so kind of how I wanted to, I thought it would be helpful if there's, it's, through the city's website and not next door, but like, where like signs posted ahead of time, just so it's part of that overall notification, so maybe it's online
I mean, we have
or
a
some kind of posted sign.
yeah.
And then the neighbor, like I I don't care about, what's happening at Piper Park, like, it's not.
This is affect your neighborhood, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, I might like to, if I was planning on walking there, it would be nice to know, but it feels like
I think that when we did the grand reopening at Niven, we placed, I mean, that was in a neighborhood where we could strategically place roadside signs. So that residents of the neighborhood
Mhm.
see it every day for, I don't remember what we did, a couple weeks in advance. So, and I think that's possible. I can't think of a park that it's not possible to do something along those lines.
Yeah, I really do divide it between looking at the numbers you put in here, and I know that, the 250 people for Niven, or for Piper, that seems that it should, be kind of, it should generate some kind of broader public outreach. I don't know, 50 people for Niven, if that's so impactful for the community or the neighborhood.
Well, I mean, 250, I don't think impacts, I mean, I'm thinking, okay, so this, on Saturday, we had, we'll call it 400, I like that number better. We had 400 people in the picnic area on Saturday. And it didn't affect the rest of the park.
Right.
And the park that's up,
Right.
but 400 would definitely affect neighborhood park. It would definitely affect almost every other park except Niven and Piper. So if you're gonna put 400 people, but you probably wouldn't approve that, an event that was gonna have 400 people in some of the other parks.
There's
Depending on what it was.
a particular event that happens in Greenbrae School Park every year,
Yes,
it's
of course,
radar.
yeah.
That would likely fall into this
Mhm.
category where it's
That's their own thing, right? That's their own HOA thing.
yeah, but there's still a lot of people,
And they have a band and they have all
Mhm.
kinds of things there.
yeah.
I think it's a good point. I mean, we're not gonna catch everybody, but we should do everything in our power. Or use every tool available to us to make people aware. So, I mean, you can, the city newsletter, well, on the desk of Dan Schwartz, the Friday thing. The city has an Insta account.
So, if I may, the city's used to notifying people. I mean, I know that we get critiqued often when people don't know of stuff that's going on there. We do have protocols for how we notice
They
neighborhoods.
did tell us, we
Um,
don't know.
So, I think having that in the policy is important, and I think that it's something that we can work with. Typically, it's Public Works that does noticing like that, so.
Yeah, that's true. They do
Yeah,
it
and I
all the
think-
time, too.
I think really, I do think every event and situation is gonna be a little bit different.
I'm thinking just giving you the authority to be able, I mean, a lot of it is coming across your desk and you're making a call and their history potentially and kind of, you could have a sense of like, it's gonna be loud amplified music, is it not, blah, blah, blah. But giving you the authority to be able to say in those, kind of one-off events that you think are, you guys have to do these three things
Okay,
in terms of
Yeah.
notification.
yeah.
I don't know what the timing is, that's a whole other.
Well, is that
Yeah,
something we
sure.
want the entity to be responsible for? Do they have to do a mailer? Do they have to post signs? Within our own specs, I don't want to staple us up and freeze, but. I mean, is that something that becomes their responsibility too?
Well, I'm thinking that we would want to, I'm thinking that, Nick would give them guidance vis-a-vis the city's notification channels. Cause I don't want to create anything new, right?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, I think Public Works is very good about your street's gonna be closed, move,
Mhm.
don't park
Mhm.
here, so they have.
Yeah.
Really good ways to do that, so whatever. Their apparatus is.
Exactly, yeah, so it's a combination of street signs, mailers, if we want, I don't,
And
would try to
and
stay
if
away
there's
from
a cost
mailers.
associated with that, if it's man time, that should be part of its permit cost.
yes, it should.
Is there, did we just skip right over that? Is there a cost?
It's up under fees, rental fee based on size, duration, and location.
So maybe that's also something that it's gonna take Public Works guy going out putting signs up,
It's
That's-
billable.
that's
Yeah.
$100, whatever, him to do that one afternoon, then that should be in there too.
Yeah.
If their event requires noticing, there should be a fee assigned to that.
Yeah.
This shouldn't cost the city money.
So I think additional fees in section 4 would likely cover that. It says specifically staff time on that, so. That would usually just applies to hourly staff.
Based on like reporting the other night, I wanna show you.
What's
It
that?
says fees made, I wanna make sure that number stays high, I don't have to report. Cause this will all come up when cause they've all been, council's now been noticed when they do the big fee renewals, that there should be these fees, so this is one of those fees that would definitely be highlighted, cause it's new.
I have a few that I'm gonna have them look
Look at,
closely
yeah.
at. Typically, I
That came up in the last two
I
conversations.
think they're supposed to kind of reassess, but I think it's more, they've mostly been just doing cost of living increases on current fees, so. I do have some stuff coming down the pipeline that you guys will hear in the next couple of months that it might reflect differently. So.
I have a comment about the application itself. I think that, all the information, is captured on this form. I would just suggest that, spend a little bit of time with the formatting of that document, just to make sure that there's enough space for the answers, for the questions to be answered.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that was me kind of throwing everything on the paper. Once I put it through, I'll have fillable PDFs and everything. And
Okay, good.
yeah, I didn't
be
want to
online,
get
right?
too in depth on the formatting without knowing everything that was going to be on it yet.
But as I said, I think the information was all captured
Perfect.
on the document.
Excellent, thank you.
I read and understood and understand the parks event policy.
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's the last time, next my page is up. I have read and understand the parks event policy.
Oh, to add to the,
It says that on the bottom.
mhm.
Should we review that policy? I mean, that's part of isn't that part of the other application? That's the rental application? Tables and chair.
This would be
tables
this
That's
policy
what
would
that's
be
saying,
what
that's
they're
what that is.
acknowledging
Yeah.
that they've read, yeah. At least how I have it written.
Okay, well then I wonder if then nothing in here, sorry. Is anything about code of conduct?
Specifically,
I mean, cause isn't the other application, there's the application about rentals,
there is.
and isn't there something on that policy about code of conduct? I say that because I had the luxury of sitting in on the library board meeting last week.
I have rules and regulations here and I'm pretty sure.
So I'm wondering if we're gonna make them assign that, they should also we should, whatever that, and isn't there like a second page to that, that's rules and regs about park and. You'll adhere to signs and you'll adhere to whatever, and maybe we should include codes of conduct. You know, you'll curb your dog, all those other things, so that that's part of this too. Sorry.
I don't think it's as in-depth as,
Cause then there's nothing in this about behaving.
yeah, we do not have a code of conduct.
I mean, the library does,
Yeah.
so we could grab theirs. It's just about, it's basically being a good human. And we probably should include something like that. With the, keep your dog on a
Mhm.
leash, cause we have the. We have the ordinance about sound, the sound ordinance
Mhm.
rule. So we probably should do something in there about being a good human.
You wanna wordsmith that one?
Being a good human, I think the library board has one. They have a
Okay.
code of conduct, I'm sure you can just grab that,
Okay,
cause they're rewriting their processes before the new library opens.
might be a little,
You probably have to, it probably says be
Different.
quiet in the library.
is that something we would all agree to?
Then- I'm sure you can just change it to, scream as loud as you want in the park versus be quiet in the library, but. And then that just, one things, but I just think it'd be nice if they're gonna sign that they've read this, they probably should also, keep your dog on a leash if you have dogs.
So you're
Whatever the
saying that
general
that should be in the
policies.
rules and regulations section, or you want that on
I
the
mean, There's
application?
something,
I guess it would be both, I guess if it was in here, then it would.
and don't people sign that they're gonna follow the park rules when they rent picnic tables and stuff?
Yeah, but code of conduct is not a.
Or whatever we call it, something, we call it
Yeah.
rules and regulations.
Yeah,
Okay, you can call
Yeah.
it that. I'm just saying code of conduct, that's
Mhm.
fine. You can call it rules and regulation.
okay,
Cause they're saying this is the parks events policy, but then they should also have to follow the general parks policy, right? Cause there's probably stuff in there about
which I
no
think
open
I,
flame, no, other stuff like that.
I swear that I had something that said rules.
First. I'm McGrath the crime dog all in one, but
Say all park rules and regulations or.
yeah. So that's fine, 'cause then you can refer back to whatever we've got posted.
Okay,
Let's bring to mind, we should have a code of conduct for the park. For the future meeting.
What do you think about the idea of having it, have a dress rehearsal versus going forward with actually implementing it?
Oh, well,
mid trial period.
A trial period, yeah,
a beta test.
yeah. Testing it out for, well, I think you mentioned possibly a year,
Yeah, a year would give us a full
summer.
seasons, yeah, I'm open to, whatever you're comfortable with, I think that this document gives me kind of a lot of. Control over what can happen out there, which I feel confident with, so, and I'm happy to report back. In a year with. Whatever has come before the commission.
I would think that should cover it. If we go ahead and get this codified or whatever the term is, approved. And then in a year's time, you present back to the commission and say, hey, this is what we've learned, this is the best practices. We might need to tweak the policy, but I think we just go ahead and, don't do things on an interim basis. Let's just get it out there and then have it subject to review after a year.
Okay.
Anyone feel in agreement there?
You can't put it into play and then change it. I mean, who
Right.
knows?
Yeah, change it.
And this document will still have to go through the city attorney, so, how it reads right now might look a lot different in the next month.
It's good
Right,
attention.
yeah. Okay.
Have you, I'm sorry, I missed the first round one of this conversation. Do you have an idea of approximately how many applications you will be reviewing in the course of the next, year?
Based on these changes that I've made, specifically these numbers, I would think that I would, assuming no major changes from what happened this last year, I would think that it would be probably 5 or 6 that would apply.
Mhm.
Right, yeah,
So it's not an undue administrative burden for you? Or is it?
having a policy in place is helps me.
Okay.
If, there's some gray language on here, I think, it could be upwards of 10 or a dozen that we had, if every single one of those had to present to the commission, that could be a challenge. But based on our conversations here, I think I know that that's probably more like, 4 or 5 that should come to, and that doesn't seem like a challenge at this point.
I know that in the federal government, there's something called the Paperwork Reduction Act, where, anytime you come up with a new form, a new policy, it has to be considered in terms of how much information you're asking for the public. Are cities or counties or states subject to anything of that nature, do you know?
I do not know. Yeah, I can ask that question though.
That might be something when you talk to,
Yeah,
general counsel, just
okay,
check on that.
yeah. Say it again.
Paperwork Reduction Act,
Okay,
but I think that's a federal
Okay.
Requirement, anytime like, the and anytime that you're all the grant forms, contract forms, anything of that nature, it's all subject to that act.
yeah,
So you're not
Okay.
asking too much unnecessary information from the public. But I
Okay.
wouldn't imagine that the city is subject to that, but it'd be nice to know.
yeah. Yeah, don't know. I know that there's applications for everything.
Yeah.
And information that needs to be submitted for anything, planning especially is one where we get a lot of information from people. So I'm hoping that this is very basic compared to that.
Yeah.
Okay, do you need a vote on this or?
Yeah, I think if we were to go to the main things I heard. Better definition for service organization.
Or just
Um,
eliminating the service organization from it.
My hope is that I can avoid. Kind of honestly, random groups of people that get together, get event insurance and want to have a blowout party somewhere. So I'd like some kind of. Whether it's nonprofit or everybody has a nonprofit right now, so it's not a term I like to use. But. And I can work with that a little bit. My background, I used to work for the YMCA, we're a service organization, although. You maybe don't feel that way if it's not the same as like
Three
Alliance.
Service organizations, exactly.
Yeah,
Right service.
okay. So,
I mean, Sky probably has more.
Yeah. okay.
Cause it might be just, change it to community-based organization or something. I know that's
Very nice.
a different type of term.
Local communities, because are we allowing, that could be some leeway if someone from Nevada comes down or.
Okay, and then I heard, submitting an application, maybe 90 days is a better,
Allowing you to have time to at least
Yeah,
post it.
and I think that the organizations that I'm considering are good with 90. And then we should put something about all park rules and regulations apply. Okay, yeah, so if you're good with that, we can approve that. I can send this to the city attorney. To have them look over it.
Could you just put something on the notify neighborhood in advance of the event,
Oh, yeah.
as per the recreation director's guidance or whatever, just something that.
For city guidance,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or the city's guidance, yeah.
Yeah.
Or recommendations or whatever that.
perfect.
Anything else?
Not for me.
And you'd like a motion? Anyone want to make a motion regarding this special event policy?
Well, it's a business area, so do you need I move that we. Direct. What do you want, I'd say the redirect Director Stone to move this application to the next level with the city attorney. That,
Based upon
based upon the current changes that were outlined.
corrections, improved changes. As specified in the
What he said.
I'll make a second.
I take it you'll make the second.
Yes, I will.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Acceptance? All right.
Nice work, man.
Yes, very
Yeah,
nice.
something.
Thanks for doing that.
Yep.
About time the
Nice
city now,
balance.
it's good that you did it. Nice.
Our next business item, 4.2, are the Piper Park Nature Panels. Back to you, Nick.
Excellent.
So cool.
So this is a project that we began quite a while ago, so I apologize, I wanted to have these printed out for you, but, we're having computer issues here, so I'm gonna just have to show you on the TV here. And then I'll go through, I have a slide, I'm gonna go over, potential placements, with you too in a separate, slideshow. So, artist, scientific illustrator Emma Oil put these together. This is a project that is very exciting. It took a while to get here. Rita was in charge, and Rita left, and it kind of I fell a little bit behind on it. But luckily Emma was able to really put together some pretty slides, in my opinion. So this one is the Cordavidera Creek, and so this is one of two that show native species of animals and plants that can be found here. You remember we took this back and had it run through by so the county of Marin naturalists that did a once over, and they were able to give us some suggestions for birds and animals that are more likely to be found right there. So the naturalist that happened to look over and gave us all the feedback actually works a lot at Hal Brown Park, so she was extremely familiar with the area and was able to give Emma some great direction. All right, so this is the Cordavidera Creek and Marsh. This is the Mount Tam slide. Food web, kind of cool. This is one that we struggled with all the arrows, but I think the chaos kind of ended up looking pretty cool.
It's like a Richard Scarry book, you know, just gonna look more and sort of see those connections. I love it.
And then the roll of the tides.
What's the A with the check mark?
That's the Measure A. So this
Ah.
project is being funded by Measure A funds. All right, I'm gonna move into my. Yeah, so this is expected to come out around $15,000. I haven't ordered the signs yet. This project is a little bit behind, but my thoughts now, as we're into kind of the winter months, that it would be great to have these installed in some point late winter, very early spring, and to do some kind of event around this program, where we can have Ms. Oil was excited to come out and be a part of some kind of meet the artist thing. Commissioner Friedel suggested a scavenger hunt as part of it, which I think is a great idea too.
Maybe it's part of birthday. I don't know.
Another good idea. Yeah,
That's good.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Do you want me to push the TV closer? Are you guys okay? Okay, so, what I did, oh. Okay, so what I did here, on this map, you can see the different locations, that we can, that I have kind of staked out for these spots. So the red dot that you'll see, this is an aerial of Piper Park, so the red dot is right behind the community garden. And you can see in the slide on the left, that's the view from where it is. That is a sticker of a current nature panel that's actually not there, but that's where I would place it. So this is kind of a visual. So again, that panel that you're seeing on the grass there is not real. That's just a proposed location for this particular slide. So I figured that the one showing Mount Tam should probably have Mount Tam in the background. This one is the purple dot way up top. So this is out kind of just by the there's a bunch of palm trees that are out there way at the end of dots. This is just to the right of that, and you can see the view there on the left. And so this would be for the which one is this? This is kind of the different
Marsh.
species. Yeah, the marsh. Marsh and creek, yeah. So this was, I went on a walk and it was like a king tide, so the water's normally not this high. But this is the blue dot there for this, and this would be the food web. So this is probably the area that would likely get the most traffic from people. It's in a very busy area of the park, kind of just right by the picnic tables, softball fields. People are constantly on that path, so I think this is a good one for that location. And this is is the yellow dot. So this is the roll of the tides. Yeah, roll of the tides. One. So there's kind of an area out where we did the pumpkin patch that I would look to put this one.
Nick, does the 15,000 in Measure funds, that covers all costs in terms of the
Yeah.
artwork, the implementation, you know,
Yes, that covers the artwork, or the fabrication of the signs, as well as the installation. All right, so for this one, you guys have approved it already, so I don't really need a motion or anything, but any feedback is always welcome. And ideas that you had for events. I heard Earth Day, which is a good idea.
It's just so beautiful. Yeah. It really makes it warms my heart. I can't wait to get feedback from people once they're installed.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's nice because it's they're nowhere else. Those are pieces that were just done for us, so it's kind of cool that you won't find those particular ones at any other park.
Yeah, they came out really, really well. They're really quite beautiful.
They're so beautiful.
colorful,
Colorful.
informative,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about these panels and signage in the city, and I'm curious about some of the other signs I'm seeing around town. I don't know if it's okay to speak about this, but I'm not, just for informational purposes, are you able to tell us, like, are you involved with that? Is Public Works involved? Like, for instance, at the end of Baltimore Avenue, Baltimore Park, there's a new sign, and I don't, can you provide us with any information you know about?
I don't know a whole lot about those signs, other than that it's a city project that council went through. Do you? It's like it's a signage project that I should know a lot more about, but it's not a park and rec.
It's not in part, it's not.
It's a historical I'm drawing a blank. I hope my bosses don't watch this. Historical Preservation Society, I think,
Yes,
has funded this, yeah. So I think those informational signage is based on, I think, wayfinding is part of a larger project, because there's gonna be some wayfinding signs as well.
It sounds like there's more to come of those signs.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other comments on panels or the location?
Oh, looks great.
Excellent. Thanks, Nick.
Of course.
All right, that brings to close our business items, and it is item 5, the director's oral report.
Great. Two things for you. First off, we had the Piper Park Pumpkin Patch this last Saturday, the 11th. Piper Park from 10 to 1. Huge success. It's like my favorite event now. We probably, I think Commissioner Friedel estimated 400. I would say there was definitely that. It was a great crowd that came in and out. Really exciting. There's a ton of pumpkins. Special shout out to Commissioner Friedel and the wrecking crew for supporting us with some arts and crafts, as well as selling of the pumpkins and costumes and overall merriment. Actually, former Recreation Director Dick Whitley made an appearance too, and was instrumental in helping me with all the pumpkins. Yeah, Josh and I had a lot of pumpkins to move, but he was there helping out, and it was great to see him, and just a really good, feel good event, and I was really happy with the way it went. And
people from all over. Like
I'm sorry?
Nevada and San Francisco.
yeah,
Everywhere.
yeah, so it was it was a good crowd. Everyone seemed happy, and there was just one kid that cried and ruined my no tears pumpkin patch. But
Mayor Way, Vice Mayor Andre. And lots of staff. And
Yep.
Councilman Candell at the very end.
yeah, it was good showing, and couldn't have asked for a better day. It was beautiful.
Whoever called the weather in, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had two kids from Hall who helped me, because the carts were all being used.
Yep.
And they were just kind of standing around, and it was amazing. They had like pumpkins in their arms, and they were looking at their phones as they were crossing to the parking lot. And I really had to try hard. I had to hold myself back from being the mom of like, do you walk all the time looking at your phone? So instead of asking what the teachers or et cetera, but
And we did.
the kids volunteering was also a really nice.
Yes.
So do you think you sold more pumpkins because of having more of a?
Think we did. I haven't gotten I haven't talked about official pumpkin numbers, but we last year they sent us very big pumpkins. So this year the sizes were more manageable. So I think people were able to get a few more, able to easily transport them to their cars. I think the wagons helped, and we did have the great group of volunteers from Hall Middle School. There's 15 kids that came out and helped and directed people, carried pumpkins,
And sold half of the Big Daddies,
yeah.
those giant pumpkins.
Yeah, so it was, so it did pretty well.
And your wreath lady, whoever she was, would you give her a shout out?
Yes, and Gabrielle is a teacher that signed on with us last year, and she actually does a lot of what's the word, clay work, and there's a kiln at Hall, so she does some pretty cool clay stuff with the kids, and they have a kiln there that they can fire it and do the ceramic. I took a class in college. I should know more, but I don't. Didn't do well on that one. so she came out and, to plug her classes, came out and did some wreath making. And by all accounts, it was, really cool and people really liked, that craft. And then, I guess the big news is, last night at City Council, council approved, the construction of a new recreation building at Piper Park, 2,400 square foot modular building, that will go, replace the bathrooms by the flagpole, and, I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be great for the community, and, I think it's gonna be a cool building and a very cool location. So I'll have more information on that, later as far as the timeline and stuff. I'm still kind of unclear on that at this point. So, yeah.
You'll be involved in the development of the plans, further fleshing out plans and
Yes, I'll have a lot of opinions on that. Yeah.
good, but
Yeah.
You have been, right? Julian's worked with you.
Yes.
on the floor plan and stuff, so.
Yeah, we've met a lot about that, and you know, the plans are kind of what they are. There's room for tweaking here and there, so, but we're not quite at that stage yet. But we're getting there.
And the hot tub, where's that coming?
It's on the roof.
On the river.
Yeah.
With a solar panel.
And the bar.
well, congratulations, that's
Thank
a
you.
great step forward.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
Looking forward to hearing what the timing is. Are you, when are you out? When's your office?
When that building's done. Yeah, yeah, so,
Okay, good. So your office is still.
Yep.
Rec office.
yeah, I'm there. I'll look right out on the site every day, so,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I may move into a construction zone at some point, so.
There was a lot of discussion with the council last night.
And what was it when we left? I don't remember. How long we got?
It was long,
Second reading of it.
second, yes, but it was very impressive to see Nick and Julian, for that matter, answer all the questions from the council members and, provide the feedback. We didn't know how it was gonna go until the vote was taken.
Yes, it was
3-2,
3-2.
3-2, yeah.
It's
I
close.
want to emphasize there's a lot of support though for a nice building there too, so, yeah, so it was felt good to get to see that support for parts from the council, yeah.
It was.
And, so the other thing I would say is if you would, I mean, I watch the agendas when they come out, but. So it'll go as a budget addendum amendment to the general budget. There'll be one more appearance on council. And I plan to be in the audience, making sure they vote. So if anyone's free that night, we should all be here again.
Yes, absolutely.
And Nick will have to let everyone know that there'll be more than 3 of us in the room, so we don't violate anything.
That was, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner reports. Anyone want to report on something going on?
I just have just 2 quick things, I know it's a shocker. With this new policy, makes me think of the Arts Commission, is that what it's called?
Public art.
Public Arts Commission. Made me think that, I was speaking with one of the councilmen, before the, she called for some information about the building, and we were chatting, and it dawned on me, and forgive me if I missed it, but was that ever finalized? I believe it was. I don't know if it went to Sky,
Correct, the art policy is finalized,
Okay.
yeah.
but did we ever announce it to the community? I don't know if people are gonna be beating down our doors to apply for art installations, but I don't remember it being announced. And so should we announce it to the community that we now have an arts commission component of this commission? Cause I don't remember seeing it, I did very well have missed it, trust me, but. So I think we should do an announcement of it, that there is an arts commission and encourage artists and. people to do that, so that we're actually promoting that we have that ability. And then
If I-
the same thing should go for this permit, we should also
Okay.
announce this and make an announcement of this.
Great. It's funny that you brought up the art policy. I forgot to mention it, but I believe we will have your first art piece coming to the commission in November. And so that actually might be a great opportunity to kind of go live with it. It was, it'll come in November, and we have to finalize the application, get it all ready, because it was still in draft form, so. But it has
Then I
been
ask that someone
approved.
Send us that final version before November. But it would be nice to have an announcement in, the city manager's Friday newsletter that there's an arts commission.
Yes.
Part of
Yes.
for, right, that there's a,
For
who knows how
yeah.
it stores that.
Well, it's the
stuff.
recreation guide and.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be nice if it was part of his, newsletter or whatever, from the desk of or whatever the heck it's called. And the same should be true of, if there's a new permitting process for parks rentals or whatever. That was all. Sure.
Okay.
Nothing for me.
I said how much I enjoyed the pumpkin patch and
Thank you for coming
appreciate,
out, yes.
well, had I had more time, I would have probably bought a lot more pumpkins, but I'm already, every time I pass by them on my doorstep, I think about it.
Or made a
It's really-
popsicle stick character,
Well, I mean, just looking,
cleaner spider.
coming quickly, but unfortunately, I had a couple of other events, but like, you know, you just, the tables, the picnic tables full of kids and families, people doing the arts and crafts was really beautiful, and just felt like that's exactly what our public park should be doing is, you know,
Yeah, it
continue.
was so funny, it was
Bring
like
people
a
together.
second thought last year, like, let's just throw some stuff out there.
That's a great idea.
So,
Yeah.
and this now, now we just plan for it.
Mhm.
I brought up a question in the last meeting about the dock being removed at Piper.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to let you know, I am getting a number of questions from people about what happened. Is it coming back?
Yeah, I got a
It
question
was
today.
used by people, whether it was fishing or just hanging out. Occasionally, somebody would launch a kayak or a stand-up paddleboard.
Yeah,
But I just want to let you know that people are asking about it.
yeah. Did I answer your question about what happened to the dock? Are you familiar with that?
I believe it was the tsunami.
So it was a combination.
The way when I say that to people, they
Oh,
think
yeah, right,
I
yeah.
am
Serious.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a combination of things. So it was an old dock. What happened, this happened years ago, is during a king tide, a giant root system. I wouldn't even say a log. It was like the bottom of a eucalyptus tree, huge. Floated up during king tide, and during low tide somehow ended up under the dock. And when the dock lowered down into the marsh, it would basically just crumbled and got all twisted to the point where it was not serviceable. And then it was floating underwater. So when the tsunami came, it had been submerged at that point, and just the next day when we came up, it had been completely dislodged, the whole concrete anchors that were using it. So it was removed for that reason, but it had been closed for years before that. So it is an unfunded CIP project right now, and I think the latest estimates were close to $200,000 for that, the replacement of that dock.
Thank you, I will let people know.
Yeah, thank you.
This makes
And you can also let them know that there are 2 public docks
Yes,
on the other side of the
on the
creek.
other side of the creek, there are 2 dogs.
That especially if you're launching a stand-up paddleboard or a kayak, it's a much shorter walk than
Much shorter,
than going
yes.
through Piper.
Drag your paddleboard.
But I've heard the fishing's better on the Piper side.
I think the people that were probably most impacted are the folks that go out there and fish.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was a nice place to congregate. first.
Mhm.
If there is nothing else, we can entertain a motion for adjournment. Well, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Great.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, I assume?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
That sounds like a commercial, thank you, Nick.